He waited for Pharaoh to have a dream. And then he dumbfounded all of the people around him so that they couldn't understand. Then the butler remembered, yes? And he said, there was this one, this Hebrew boy. And he interpreted the dream. And I was restored to my office and the baker was hung. Pharaoh said, because Pharaoh was in straits now, Pharaoh said, go get him. They cleaned him up and they brought him up. That was years later. So now let's start with this story, beginning in the 47th chapter of the book of Bereshit, or that is Genesis. And we saw how finally Jacob had found out that his son Joseph was alive. He told his other sons, they trying to tell him more stories. He said, look, it's enough. My son is alive. Let's go. Y'all talking too much. Let's gather up the stuff. Let's go. Yes, Gilberto, I thought the same thought. You know, so this portion opens and it says in the 47th chapter, the 28th verse, it says, and Jacob lived in the land of Egypt 17 years. So the days of Jacob, the years of his life, were 147 years. So now, from the time that he found out or thought that his son was dead, the boy left there when he was in his teens. Yes? He was gone for decades. Jacob was in derision. He was feeling away. And all of a sudden God gave him the impossible blessing. You know, when our people leave us, you know, we always pray about, I wish I could. I wish I could. The boys knew he was alive, maybe. But Jacob really thought his son was dead. So now after all of these years, not only is he alive, he gets to live in Egypt in the lap of luxury with his son for 17 easy years. God is always on time. Always. And when you hold on to him, he'll bless you in a way that you might not have expected. The blessing that you were looking for was a minor, little, minuscule blessing. He got a blessing for you that you, as the book said, you may not even be able to contain. But you got to be patient and wait on God. Wait on him. It says that they that wait on the Lord shall renew their strength. Right? That wait is an active wait, though. Right? You're not just standing around in the corner about, I hope he come, I hope he come. When you wait on the Lord, you got to be doing the work of God. All right now. You got, you know, like it's like the waiter in the restaurant, a good waiter. See, most of us ain't really never been to a real good restaurant. We think because we went up there to Annie Kitchen that we've been to a real good restaurant, right? But in a real good restaurant, you got a table over here, you got a guy with a towel on his arm. And he's standing. He didn't go back to the kitchen and start shooting the breeze with the people in the kitchen. He's standing there waiting for somebody to go like this. He don't wait for you to call him. A good waiter is watching you to see what you need. And then all of a sudden you're looking for a napkin. He says, now get your napkin, sir. Right? We have to be of the mind to wait on God in like manner. You have to wait on God through your actions and your deeds with other people, with your family, with your children, with your parents. You have to do the thing that will encourage God to want to bless you. Because the blessing is already commanded. Amen. You have to do the things to get yourself in line to receive the blessing. Because the blessing has already been commanded. I don't know if you can hear that. Because, you know, we don't live lives where we feel every day, you know, all these blessings and stuff. I know we get to the temple and we say we blessed and this. But all week, I know people call me. They're cussing and fussing all week long. Because life comes upon you and you sometimes lose sight of what the blessing really is. So now, our father lived in Egypt with his children. He calls his son, because now I'm just going to tell you the story, and then I'll get to the part where I want to break this thing out for you. But what was happening was this, that Jacob, although he lived there for 17 years, although he was in the lap of luxury, you know what he knew? That wasn't home. Okay. He had no desire to be in Egypt. Not even after his death did he want to be in Egypt. So he called his son, who was the viceroy in Egypt, and said, listen to me, boy, come here. Put your hand under my thigh. Okay. Swear to me that when I die, that you're going to take me up out of here and take me home and bury me in a possession that my father paid for. Go bury me with my father Abraham and his wife Sarah and my father Isaac and his wife Rivka. And there I buried Leah. Go put me there. I'm not staying here. Sometimes I listen. In our family, we come to these places now where we talk about, well, when you're dead, and after you're dead, and that's not the way our fathers looked at it. I just want you to be clear about it. Our fathers looked at it in a whole different way. They felt that you needed to have the honorable putting away. Right? So he told him, take me out of here. So now, it says, and it came to pass after these things that one said, told Joseph, your father's sick. So I was sick. Well, Joseph was what? Looking for a blessing. He grabbed his sons and went to his father. Now I want you to recognize who this man was. Jacob. Because you remember last week, in last week's portion, he said to his brothers, you know, I'm going to bring Abba in, and then you're going to tell him that you're herdsman and he'll take care of cattle. The whole scheme. Joseph had it all set up. But I don't know if you noticed something. When Jacob came in unto Pharaoh, what didn't you read? What didn't you see in that stuff? In no place in that time when he came before Pharaoh did it say that Jacob bowed to Pharaoh. Oh, no. I want you to know who your father was. I want you to recognize that even Pharaoh recognized that he was the blessed of the Lord.
Yes. He knew it.
When Joseph told Pharaoh, look, my father and my brothers are coming. Pharaoh said, bring them on, bring them on. Because I know what I got in you. And if you talk about there's more of you, and your armor's still alive, bring them all down. It is said in Yaakov went in before the presence of Pharaoh, and Jacob blessed Pharaoh. That's what I'm trying to tell you. It was him who walked in as the man of the hour, as the great one in the They watched the man of God walk in the room. It was palpable. They knew that they were standing in the presence of the man of God. They watched Joseph, how he tended to his father. Humble. You know, we take humility now as weakness. We feel away. Chief was sitting there. I still get nervous coming up there. I needed him up there. Look at him. Because the reality is, you can feel when God is with people. You know it. When you go and you touch him, so here we were in a position now. He brings his sons in. And then his father has an announcement to make. He said, Father, this is clear. And Jacob, he said, behold, thy son cometh. He said, and Jacob said in the third verse, and Jacob said unto Joseph, God Almighty appeared to me at Luz in the land of Canaan, and blessed me, and said unto me, behold, I will make thee fruitful and multiply thee, and I will make thee a company of people, and will give thee this land unto thy seed after thee for an everlasting possession. And now thy two sons, who were born unto thee in the land of Egypt before I came unto thee in Egypt, are mine. Ephraim, Manasseh, even as Reuben and Shimon shall be mine, and thy issue that thou begettest after them shall be thine. They shall be called after the name of their brethren in their inheritance. Abba said, your sons are no longer your sons. They're mine. Now, I want you to hear this now. Because this is the places that we have to go. And if we stay in a place where we despise these things, and we don't despise it, we go, I hate that. No. We think words like this, and we try to make it benign. That was the olden days. That's not how it works anymore. Yes? You've heard some of that? That's not the way we do it now. Well, if you think about the situation, the way we do it now is the people who are thinking, who have been in captivity for over 2,000 years, are people whose minds have been bedaubed and brainwashed, are people who have lived under every rule and every captivity except one of godliness and righteousness throughout centuries. So you tell me, do you think or do you trust the mind of now? I want you to think about that. Do you think, because I can hear parents now talking about, well, you ain't taking my kids. That's because you don't understand. That was a privilege. Do you get it? I don't know whether you're getting this. Maybe I'm talking to me. Bruce, that was a privilege. That was an honor right there. That his father came and took his son. Wow, that was fantastic. See, I don't need y'all to do this. I'll do this all by myself. But what I'm telling you is that I need for you to hear it, for anyone that will hear it, to pay attention, to recognize what it is for your father, your mother to come and reach into your life for your betterment and for your good. Without you deciding that you know best. How did you get to know better than that? Especially if you have parents that you honor, you think they're decent people. How did you get to know better than them? It showed that we have this mindset. I didn't come here to talk about this. This is just what happens sometimes when it happens. We have a mindset that says, I have my children now. I'm a man in my own right, my own children, and I'm going to honor my parents, but they don't get to tell me what to do. That wasn't the ancient way. The ancient way was, as long as the patriarch and the matriarch of the family lived, they were in charge of the entire family. That was you, your kids, your kids' kids, your kids' kids' kids. You didn't get to say to grow. Listen, I lived this. I think I told y'all the story. I'm not going to tell it again, but I thought my father was Big Bad. And most of you, any of you know him, y'all probably thought he was Big Bad too. I met his mama. She was Big Bad, Big Bad. Because she shut it all down. Boop. And guess what? Big Bad Abbo, he just got quiet and did exactly what his mama told him to do. He had his own house. He had his own wife. He had his children. He was a grandfather. He had his car. He brought his mama money to do something. He did that. But when she said, do this, that was it. No mouth, no back talk, no outside of her presence conversation. None of that. We have to get back to ways that will bless our home, bless our family, make us to be able to stand upright before God. All this backwardsness that we want to live, it won't work. It's not going to prosper. In this, we're dealing with the owner of time and space. So as long as you got the time to play patty cake, he got the time to let you. But we could stop certain things right in their tracks. Just go back to the old good ways. Our fathers and mothers sang the song. Sometimes we just call these songs and we think we dismiss them because we've grown beyond them. But they used to sing this song talking about, give me that old time religion. Right? And it wasn't about, old time religion back then wasn't talking about Christianity. That wasn't their religion. What they were talking about was give us the old ways. The ways where our families function in a manner of normalcy. Normalcy, is that the word? Yes. Little Ross doesn't let me say the wrong words. God bless him.